In today's episode I'm going to be talking about signal to noise ratio when it comes to your pictures. What's signal to noise ratio and why should you care? Well, think of it like this. Signal to me, the signal is you should take a photo because you're compelled to take a photo. There should be something inside you that makes you think to yourself, I have to take this photo. I need this photo in my life. I need to capture this and tell the story of this moment. Otherwise, why are you taking the picture? So many of us, we go out with a camera and we see a big picture of a, I'm throwing my cameras around, we see a picture of a nice flower or a nice sunset or a nice looking girl or a mountain or a car, and we go, well, that's nice. We take a picture of it. And when we get back home, we upload it and it gets 67 likes on Facebook. We consider our work done. We're proud of ourselves. It goes into our portfolio and then we never look at it again. We're unsatisfied with it. Why are we unsatisfied with it? It's because if you go and look on Google Images, you'll see 67,912 results returned within 0.008 seconds, and like most of them will be better than the one that you took. So why have you taken it? It's just going to add to the pantheon of pictures that are out there that are mediocre and don't mean anything. Well, how do you mitigate against that? How do you rise above that as a photographer and make pictures that mean something? You have to mean it when you press the button. Well, okay, that's easier said than done, right? How do you determine what's meaningful in the world to take photos of? I would suggest you do it like this. I would suggest you start with discovering what it is that you are passionate about. You might know that already. You might have a hobby or an interest. You might be dedicated to something at work. You might have a cause that you're very passionate about. Fine, okay. But then what is it about that really compels you? Why are you interested in it? For example, when I'm not taking photos, I'm really interested in cycling. Well, people get into cycling for different reasons. Some people are into the bicycles themselves, they're into the gear, they nerd out about the latest group sets and the latest cycling glasses and, you know, clipless pedals and all that stuff. Other people are in it for the camaraderie and they'll join a cycling touring group, you know, they'll cycle club. For me, it's the solitude. That's what gets me. That's what keeps me interested in it. I go out for miles upon miles and it's like a meditation for me. I can clear my head completely and it's just me and the road and the rhythm of my feet going around and my breath, and I'm trying to push myself to the limit and go further and further and further. And it's a test. It's man and machine and nature working together and pushing you further than you think you can push and going through limits. Well, okay, so how does that help in photography? Well, it means that if I was going to use cycling as the basis for my photography, I wouldn't be taking pictures of groups of families going out on days cycling out together or club runs or anything like that. I'd be focusing on a single image of a cyclist in the middle of an open road in the middle of nowhere that exemplified for me the tranquility and the solitude, the loneliness of the long distance runner, but in this case it's a cyclist. If I saw that photo, I'd take it and it would mean something to me. I would be compelled to take it. And hopefully there would be some people out there too who would look at that photo and felt some kinship with it, because maybe that's what they like about cycling too. Maybe cycling isn't the thing, maybe it's the solitude that they're into. Whatever the reason, they're going to find their own reasons to connect with it. You don't have to find that, but you have to find a connection with you. And if you're pure and clear and strong enough with the signal inside you that rises up inside you and forces you to take that picture, compels you to lift the camera to your eye and press the shutter, that's step one. Then you've got something that's compelling, at least from your end. That's a signal. But I'm talking about a signal to noise ratio. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means that you've got two things competing with each other, right? You've got signal, the pure intent, the emotion that you felt that drove you to take the picture. But then you've got noise. Noise is interference. Noise is all the things that get in the way. So what happens if you've got that shot, but there are things in the composition that you didn't pay attention to when you pressed the button? It's a lovely open road, beautiful mountains. It's a peaceful, tranquil road. But right in the corner, there's someone's foot just in the corner, or there's like a Tesco sign or a like dog litter bin or something just on the corner of the picture that you didn't pay attention to when you took the shot. Could be that. Could be composition from the perspective of where you align the elements in the picture that cause you problems and cause noise. And the problem with the noise is it's interfering. The emotional response is going to be weakened when your viewers look at your photos because they're going to be distracted by all these elements. So, for example, if you've got a photo of a cyclist and they're cycling into open space, it gives the impression of them having somewhere to go to into the picture, and you can follow them along as an audience into that journey and wonder where they're going to go. But if you've got them cycling off the edge of the picture with empty space behind them, then there's this wall there where the cyclist is going to hit at the edge of the frame, and it's disquieting, it's disjointing for the audience because they don't know what's on the other side. It doesn't give the sense of open space. It's a claustrophobic feel. And also there's this open space behind them, so it gives the sense of like something maybe chasing them, or where have they come from. It's like it's a different feeling to the openness and the exploration of the open road that you get when the negative space is in front of them. So as photographers, we're responsible for every pixel inside our image. Every single one. We're not just responsible for, if we're taking a picture of a cyclist, we're not just responsible for it being a picture of a cyclist. It's no good just to line the crosshairs up in the middle of the frame and take that shot and think that's going to be enough. You have to compose it in a way that helps increase the signal and decrease the noise. So, where do you begin? Look at your own life. Look at the things that you're interested in. Somebody asked me at a class the other day, what level do you, how precise do you have to be? It's like, I'm talking here about, I gave this example of the cycling, and it's like, well, you know, what if I'm not interested in, I don't really have a sport, I don't really have like a hobby or an interest in that way. Like, what do I do in that situation? How do I find the signal that compels me to take the picture? Well, it transpired actually he was a very good photographer and he'd done a lot of travel stuff, and it turned out although he didn't have a hobby per se, he had an interest in the human spirit, in the human condition. I think he phrased it something like that. So it was broad, and it can be broad. Going back to the cycling example, it can be, maybe it isn't cycling, maybe it's the joy of doing outdoor pursuits, the joy of exercise, the joy of having time to yourself to pursue your own happiness and your own dreams. Maybe that's the thing that excites you about life, and then you find that in life. Because here's the thing, right? Whatever you're interested in and focused on in life, you will start to see that out there in the world more, the more you're in tune with it. Think about it like this. Last time you were looking at upgrading your camera, and you started doing you looked at all the reviews on YouTube, and you started to, you know, look at all the blogs and read what everybody was saying about these cameras, and signed up on all the different Facebook groups about it and all that kind of stuff. As soon as you started doing that, I guarantee that when you were out in town and you were looking around, you started to look at the cameras that are around people's necks, and you would see many more of the latest, whatever it is, Fuji, Canon, Nikon camera that you were looking at around people's necks, and you wouldn't have noticed them 3 weeks before when you weren't looking at that. You weren't looking for that camera, but you see them. Same thing if you're looking to buy a new car, or you've just bought a new car. You might not have necessarily seen that there were, you know, a bunch of that particular model Ford around in the past. They were just part of the sort of scenery. But as soon as you're looking to buy one of those yourself, or you've just bought one yourself, you start to focus on them. You see them everywhere. It's like, oh, there's the Ford I've got. Yeah, they're cool. Oh, he's got the one with the fancy wheels on it. Yeah, nice. You start to pay attention to it because your universe is made up of the things that you pay attention to. There are a million more things in it than you can ever pay attention to, so you focus in on the things that have resonance. And if you tune into the things that have resonance and make the pictures out of those, then you'll have stronger pictures because they've got signal, and the signal is the emotional pull that makes you take the photo, and then if you can transmit that in an unnoisy form into the photo so that the audience members can feel that same emotional pull too, then you've got a photo. Then you've got something that's worth sharing. Then you've got something that will mean something in the future too. You can build projects out of it. It doesn't have to be a single image. It can be a theme that you can extrapolate on and explore and delve under the layers of the onion for years to come. So next time you're out with your camera, don't just take a picture of a flower because it's a flower. Take a picture of a flower because flowers are your thing, and you're compelled to take the picture of that flower, and you want to communicate to your audience why it is that you love flowers, or bicycles, or trees, or hills, or girls, or whatever it is that you want to take a photo. It doesn't matter what it is. But remember, signal to noise ratio. Your photos will be better. Talk to you next time. Ciao.